Marcus wiped the sweat from his brow as he pedaled his beaten-up bicycle through the early morning streets of Austin, Texas. The delivery bag strapped to his back felt heavier than usual, or maybe it was just the emptiness in his stomach making everything feel worse. The 17-year-old hadn't eaten breakfast again. Every dollar saved meant one step closer to his dream of studying robotics engineering. "Just 3 more deliveries before school," he muttered to himself, checking the address on his phone. The morning sun was barely peeking over the horizon, casting long shadows across the quiet streets. Marcus had been doing these early morning delivery shifts for 6 months now, ever since his mom got sick and the medical bills started piling up. His teachers at Austin Technical High School kept telling him he had a gift. "Marcus, your robotics project was exceptional," Mrs. Rodriguez had said just yesterday. "You should apply for those engineering scholarships." What she didn't understand was that even with scholarships, there were still bills to pay, still food to put on the table. The world started spinning as Marcus made his way up a steep hill. He tried to blink away the dizziness, but the edges of his vision grew darker. His last proper meal had been yesterday's lunch at school. He'd given his dinner to his little sister Sarah when she said she was still hungry. "Just get to the top," he gasped, his legs burning with effort. The morning traffic was picking up now, cars passing him as he wobbled on his bike. The delivery bag felt like it was filled with bricks instead of someone's breakfast order. The darkness crept in further. Marcus felt his hands slipping from the handlebars. The last thing he saw was the asphalt rushing up to meet him as his bicycle clattered to the ground. Elon Musk was scrolling through production reports on his phone when his driver suddenly slammed on the brakes. The Tesla came to a smooth but abrupt stop. "Sir, someone just collapsed on the road," his driver said, pointing through the windshield. Elon looked up to see a young man sprawled on the pavement next to a toppled bicycle, a delivery bag spilled open beside him. Without hesitation, he stepped out of the car. "Call an ambulance," he instructed his driver, jogging over to the fallen teenager. Other cars were slowing down now, people starting to notice the scene unfolding. Kneeling beside the boy, Elon checked his pulse. It was there, but weak. "Hey, can you hear me?" he asked, gently shaking the young man's shoulder. Marcus's eyes fluttered open, confusion written across his face. "The delivery," he mumbled, trying to sit up. "I need to—" "Stay down," Elon said firmly. "Help is coming. When's the last time you ate something?" Marcus blinked, his vision slowly clearing. His eyes widened as he recognized the face looking down at him. Yesterday at lunch," he admitted, too dazed to be anything but honest. "Had to skip breakfast to make the morning deliveries before school." "School?" Elon's brow furrowed. "How old are you?" 17, sir." Marcus was becoming more aware now, embarrassment creeping in. "I'm sorry about this. I just got a little dizzy." The ambulance arrived, its sirens piercing the morning quiet. As the paramedics began checking Marcus over, Elon noticed something falling from the boy's worn backpack, a robotics textbook, dog-eared and filled with sticky notes. "You're interested in robotics?" Elon asked, picking up the book. Despite his situation, Marcus's eyes lit up. "Yes, sir. I'm building a low-cost prosthetic arm for my senior project, using recycled servo motors and 3D printed components to keep the cost down." His voice grew stronger as he talked about his passion, even as the paramedics checked his blood pressure. "He's severely dehydrated and his blood sugar is low," one of the paramedics reported. "We should take him to the hospital for observation." "No, please," Marcus protested, trying to sit up again. "I can't afford, and I have school and deliveries to finish." Elon held up a hand. "The hospital bill is covered," he said. "And I'd like to hear more about this prosthetic arm project of yours. What's your name?" "Marcus Johnson, sir." "Well, Marcus Johnson, I think we need to have a conversation about your future once you're feeling better." 3 hours later, Marcus sat in a private hospital room, still trying to process the morning's events. His mom had arrived, tearfully thanking Elon Musk for helping her son. Marcus had never seen her cry so much, not even when Dad left, not even when her own diagnosis came. "Mrs. Johnson," Elon said, sitting in a chair beside Marcus's bed, "your son was telling me about his robotics project. Did you know he's developed an innovative approach to low-cost prosthetics?" Marcus's mom smiled through her tears. "He's always been so smart, always building things, even when we couldn't afford proper toys. He used to make robots out of cardboard boxes and old cell phones." Elon nodded, turning to Marcus. "I've looked at your school records. Straight A's in advanced placement classes, president of the robotics club, and all while working to support your family. That's impressive." Marcus looked down at his hands. "We do what we have to do, sir." "Yes, we do," Elon agreed. "Which is why I'm offering you a fully funded scholarship to study robotics engineering at any university of your choice." Marcus's head snapped up. "What?" "And an internship at Tesla's robotics division during your summers. Paid, of course. We need minds like yours, people who understand that innovation isn't just about creating something new, but about making technology accessible to everyone." Marcus's mom grabbed his hand, squeezing it tight. "But," Marcus stammered, "what about my mom's medical bills, the mortgage?" "The scholarship will cover your full tuition, room and board," Elon explained. "And I've arranged for your mother to be seen by some specialists I know. As for the mortgage," he smiled, "let's just say you can focus on your studies now." Marcus felt tears welling up in his eyes. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll stop skipping breakfast," Elon replied with a slight smirk. "The world needs your brain working at full capacity, Marcus. You have ideas that could help a lot of people, but first, you need to take care of yourself." 1 year later, Marcus stood in front of his high school graduating class, delivering his valedictorian speech. In the audience, his mom sat next to Sarah, both of them beaming with pride. And there, in the back row, sat Elon Musk, who had taken time from his busy schedule to watch Marcus graduate. "Life can change in an instant," Marcus said into the microphone. "One moment, you're just trying to make it through another day, and the next, you're being given a chance you never dreamed possible. But what I've learned is that these chances don't just happen. They come because every day, you get up and try. Every day, you push a little harder, go a little further, even when you're running on empty." He paused, looking out at his classmates. "Sometimes, the universe conspires to put you in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. Sometimes, you collapse on a hill and wake up to find your whole life has changed. But what matters isn't just the opportunity you're given, it's what you do with it." After the ceremony, Elon approached Marcus with a proud smile. "Ready to start changing the world?" Marcus grinned, thinking about the prosthetic arm prototype sitting in Tesla's lab, now being developed for mass production at a fraction of the current market cost. "Already started, sir. Already started." That morning had changed everything for Marcus, but it wasn't just about the scholarship or the internship. It was about being seen, really seen, for his potential, his determination, and his dream of making technology accessible to everyone who needed it. As he watched Elon's Tesla drive away from the graduation ceremony, Marcus touched the acceptance letter in his pocket from MIT, where he would be starting in the fall. His stomach growled, and he laughed, remembering the promise he'd made in that hospital room a year ago. "Come on," he called to his mom and sister. "Let's go get breakfast. I'm buying." The sun was shining bright overhead, and Marcus couldn't help but think about that hill where he'd collapsed. He'd passed it every day since then on his way to school, but he didn't see it as the place where he'd hit rock bottom. Instead, it had become the place where his life had turned around, the place where someone had seen his potential and given him the chance to reach it. Sometimes the greatest opportunities come disguised as our darkest moments. For Marcus Johnson, a missed breakfast and a collapse on a hill had led to a future brighter than he'd ever dared to dream. But more importantly, it had given him the chance to help others, to turn his passion for robotics into solutions that could change lives. As he sat at breakfast with his family, Marcus pulled out his notebook and started sketching a new idea for his prosthetic design. There was still so much work to do, so many problems to solve, but now he had the resources and support to make it happen. And he never skipped breakfast again.